Okay, so tell me about yourself, Rick.
All right. So yeah, I want to tell something about myself, and I want it to be work related. I've been in the ESL industry for 12 years now. I do both online and face-to-face teaching, and I've handled many different nationalities, such as Korean, Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Turkish, whose ages range from 6 to 73.
Okay. So why did you decide to apply in our school?
Well, I actually resigned from my last company last year of May. That was my last employment in Makati. And since I'm living in Cavite, it would be a little difficult for me to, go to Makati every single day because of the heavy traffic
Mm-hmm.
that we experience. So I decided to just look for a job that I could do at home. And it so happened that when I tried to browse some ESL FB pages, I luckily found your post,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me decide to apply for this job because it says that your students are Taiwanese, and I had experience handling Taiwanese learners also.
Okay. So right now, you're not currently employed or connected with any online school?
I'm not, but to be honest, in the morning, I teach because I found a Brazilian couple living not very far from where I stay,
Uh-huh.
and these people are taking business and IELTS classes in the morning because they plan to migrate to Canada anytime soon.
Mm. Okay. All right. No problem. So, Rick, do you think you are an introvert or an extrovert?
I think I am both because I know myself very well. Well, at work, I really try to be extrovert because it's something that we really need. We have to deal with people who have different kinds of personality. But at home, when I'm alone, I usually don't like to go outside and talk with neighbors, especially if, I just don't want my time to be unproductive, talking and then getting nothing at all.
Okay. All right. So, um, I'm sorry, how long have you been teaching again?
Well, I've been in the sales industry for 12 years now.
Great. So, what is your best asset as a teacher?
I think I'm able to keep the interest of the students because, based on my own experience, once the student is enrolled in my class, then they tend to stay with me long. So I think I have that ability to keep their interest in learning with me.
Good. So, what do you think is the most important characteristic a teacher should possess?
Well, there are many, but I think one of the most important things that the teacher should have are first, during the initial days of the class, I think the teacher should be a very good listener because by listening well to the students, the teacher is able to gauge the level and the needs of the students. And by listening well to the student, the teacher is able to know what needs to be done to help the student learn from the subject matter.
So, how do you measure a student's learning level?
Basically, first by listening to them,
Mhm.
and there are many ways to gauge students' level. Because students can be good at grammar, but maybe poor at speaking, or good at speaking or conversation, but poor at grammar. So we should really try to listen every detail of the student's learning capacity. Like we should be able to know what's his or her level in grammar, listening, speaking, reading, things like those.
Okay. How do you deal with student who has behavior problems in class?
There is a saying that there's no difficult student for a good teacher. But it really depends on how the teacher would react and would handle the student. I think for difficult student, the teacher has to really observe and practice maximum tolerance because that's very important. That will test the patience of the teacher. And the teacher should be able to convince the student to study, even if the student says, I don't like to study. And it's a reality. It happens a lot, especially for younger learners, because oh, so many reasons. One reason might be the student is tired from all days, from his school, and at home at night he has to take online classes, and we should understand that. But at the end of the day, the teacher should always be the one who lead the lesson. The teacher should not let himself or herself be defeated by whatever reasons the student may give him or her. But of course, in a very nice way.
All right. So, what do you do when a student doesn't understand your lesson or the lesson, or if your student has learning difficulties?
First and foremost, I should simplify the words that I use because the student's vocabulary might be at very low level. So simplifying words is very important. Second, repetition is not bad, but it shouldn't be overdone. Another thing is if it's a video class, then we could actually use some visual aids or body gestures just to relay to the students what we are trying to teach them.
Okay. In terms of using technology, Rick, how do you rate yourself, 10 being the highest?
I'm not a techie person, but I think since I've been in, the industry for quite some time, I can say that I don't have any difficulty because in ESL, especially the online platform, we don't have a very complicated platform actually because in my case, I've used Skype, Zoom, WeChat, and Kakao Talk in teaching.
All right. In our school, what we just use is Skype, Gmail, or Google Docs, and screencast. That's it. So it's just very simple. Okay, so what are your expectations in our school?
Expectations from your school. I expect because I'm looking forward to having classes from 7 to 12. I expect that if I'm lucky, if I qualify, for this school, then I'm expecting that um, I could be able to have to maximize my teaching time at night because that is what I'm really looking forward to, having. And also, I'm expecting that there will be some sort of training because I believe I've been in many years in schools already. I believe that every school has its peculiar or a specific method, system, or platform in dealing with the students.
Right, right. Okay. Give me a reason. Oh, I'm sorry. What contribution can you give to our school in the event that we're gonna hire you?
First, I could really share to the students or with the students what I've learned for many years in teaching. I think I I mean your school and the staff would not spend uh, too many hours conducting training because I think what I just need to learn from your school is the system and other bit of details as to how to teach the students. And also in making reports or yes, progress reports about each student. Um, Another thing is that I'm very willing to, participate in whatever programs the school might implement for the betterment of uh, the organization as a whole. And I'm a fast learner. I'm not young anymore, but I can still learn fast.
Okay. So, give me a reason why we should hire you.
Uh, First and foremost, if the school is looking for teachers who have experience in the industry, then I could say that with my long and extensive experience in teaching many different nationalities, I think that would be a factor. Another thing is that I've learned from Korean and Japanese companies the value of attendance. So although in the Philippines we have what we call Filipino time, I try to avoid and use that and not apply it for ESL companies because if I'm late or I'm absent, that would affect the whole operation of the company because the staff would look for another teacher to teach the students that I cannot. So that is something that I really avoid committing, being late and being absent.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so congratulations, Rick. You passed the initial interview. So I'll be scheduling a demo teaching for you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and send you a copy of our material. So you're gonna use this for your demo teaching. The demo teaching would just took maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And let me
May
check
I
here.
ask,
Sure.
when will be the demo teaching?
Um, are you available on Monday or Tuesday? You could actually select Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. That's gonna be 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to grab the earlier,
Hmm.
which is Monday, if
Okay.
it's possible.
Okay. What was your name again on the email? It is Rico, right?
Right, yes. I mean, it's Rick, RICK, 000GGE at gmail.com.
Could you just go ahead and type it on Skype, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, there's so much applicants actually.
I understand. The school, if you don't mind me asking,
Sure.
yeah, is this school new, or how long has it been in the industry?
I think that's already almost 2 years now.
And the school only caters to Taiwanese students.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Any other questions do you have for me?
For now, that's all. If ever I would have, I would just, I would just send you the question here on our Skype.
But then just want to remind you, Rick, this is just a part-time position, okay? So most likely you will just have 4 hours per day, and that's gonna be Monday to Friday. But if you're available on Saturday and Sunday, then definitely we could give you students as well.
That would be great
Okay.
because most weekends I'm actually free. I don't also teach outside.
Okay. Alrighty. I've already sent you a copy of the material. Um, just a tip on the material. You don't actually need, I mean, you just need to ask your student to talk a lot. You have to ask a lot of questions. You don't need to go directly into the subject matter or on the, activities on the book. You could talk about first. It's like initiating a conversation, something like that. So on the first part of the book, uh, can you open your email?
Yeah. Moment, please. It's it says here free Israel Unit 1. There you go. Leisure and sport. That's going to be lesson 1.
Okay. All
You
right.
got it?
So on the first part, our first page of the book, that is actually the exact book that I have. And then on the second page, that's where you could, let's say, type your sentences, type the words or the vocabulary words that you have discussed or taught to your students, or sentences, erroneous sentences or wrong sentences that they said. So you could actually put that on page 2 so that they could see, what are the changes, what are the corrections. And then if you still have time, then you could already go to the activity proper.
Okay, okay.
So it's gonna be the head of the school who will conduct the demo teaching. She will pretend to be your student.
Okay.
Okay, so that's pretty much all for now. Rick?
How many pages should I finish for the demo teaching? It depends on the student herself.
Yes, right. Or, I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? How far?
Pages should finish for the demo teaching.
Um, that depends. Because like I've said, as much as possible, you have to maximize the discussion first. You don't actually need to finish the book um, or how many pages you could finish in just one class. Yeah, technically, if we're having classes, you know, sometimes you just let your student talk and talk and talk, and you were able to discuss a lot, but you're just discussing leisure and sports, you know, something like that. And if you see any like this, listen to the phrases, practice saying them aloud. Normally we give this as their homework so they could, you know, do it at home, practice further, those kind of things.
Now, in your school, when is the best time to give corrections? Is it right after the student commits mistakes or during the wrap up period?
That's a good question. It's actually at the end, before you end your class. Yeah. So it's like there is a division, so you're just going to teach for 55 minutes. So for the corrections of all sentences, mistakes of your students, you actually do that at the end, 15 minutes before you end your class. But then for mispronounced words, you could actually do that during your class so that they could automatically practice and know that they, you know, mispronounce the words. But of course, we're actually doing techniques here, some like color coding, and definitely your students knows about that. Okay, so anything else?
I think that's all for today.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time and for being flexible, Rick. I appreciate that, and looking forward to be working with you, okay? Alrighty, have a great day. Bye now.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.